Hello and welcome. It's me, Jens, also known as Landor. I am a German composer producing mostly orchestral music. This is the third part of the video series that breaks down my orchestral fantasy adventure track, Sylvan Secrets. Please check out the previous parts, consider subscribing and ring the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Part A, Magic and Enchantment, consists of two clearly distinct subparts. The first 8 bars could be treated as an intro as well. The magical vibe remains and is even more enforced by an angelic solo voice but with a much stronger rhythmic sense due to the woodwind and violin staccatos. The harmonic foundation with a simple A minor and D major chord progression is in the A Dorian mode. It is played by soft tremolo strings in a wide voicing and with as little movement as possible to sound as smooth as possible. The typical wave-like dynamics has its peaks and valleys at chord changes. The harmony plays above the melody again. The cellos, layered with a solo cello for more detail, play a repeated ascending line that is not really worth to be called a melody. It's more of a phrase but fits as a preparation for the following horn motif. I also used staccatos for the rhythm. Strangely enough, I found that the short notes of cinematic studio strings didn't deliver the specific mood I was aiming for. Instead, I took again tremolos but drew in triangles in CC1 to quickly lower volume after each note. Now they actually sounded like a staccato. Quite unusual, but it worked for me. The solo flute plays a descending echo E, Goldsmith E staccato line. In the first 3 chords the notes are identical. In the last chord they switch to the exact notes of D major chord to give it a bit more of a resolution. The solo oboe joins at the last 2 chords but plays a 3rd or 5th above or below in a slightly different pattern. The solo clarinet plays a simple repeating interval of seconds in a legato fashion. The non-chord tones are giving a feel of unstableness until this is resolved with a perfect 4th in the last chord. The solo voice of Audio Imperia's Jaeger is absolutely beautiful and fits perfectly in mystical scenes. It starts with the M articulation and switches to the louder O. She sings mostly simple chord notes. In contrast to the Cinematic Studio series, for example, CC1 alone is not enough to shape the dynamics. You have to use CC11 as well. I love this patch from Linares, called
L'Abbaye de la Cambre.
The first time I heard it, 3 years ago, I knew I would use it sometime in the future. And that was now. These whispering female voices carry so much atmosphere. They are accompanied by the birds. The synth pads of native instruments Ethereal Earth support the strings' harmony. At 0:40 it's the first time the theme of the track occurs. It is accompanied by quite a few instruments from different sections. The star of the show here is clearly the solo horn of cinematic studio brass, playing legato in the lower dynamics. It rises in volume when the notes climb up. There are huge intervals up to an octave plus a minor third that should convey excitement. In the middle, the cellos pick up the melody and follow a descending line in an opposite way the horn ascends in the first half. The horn stays above the cellos, supporting the harmony. The solo clarinet plays a short counter melody in first half, the oboe in the second half where the melody rests. The violins play a soft repeating legato arpeggio until they smoothen the instrument switch of the main melody from horn to cellos with a short climb. The harmony is still very simple. A chord change every 2 bars and a bit of movement in some of the voices. Violins are still playing tremolo but only 2, not 3 voices. At the end the registers and tempo drop distinctly. Trombones, tuba, low strings and woodwinds join the harmony. This fairly full harmony changes from piano to mezzo forte and announces the next part of the track. A soft women choir sings 3 and at the end 2 voices with an O articulation. Audio Imperia's chorus can handle polyphonic legato when you apply specific velocities to the notes of each line. There is also a rhythmic harmony in this part. I already mentioned the violin legato arpeggio. A bit more upfront and plucky is the 16th harp arpeggio in a down and up movement with some slight variations of the chord tones here and there and some double notes on the second half. Here it is joined by a flute and a few bars later by the clarinet but with different notes of the underlying chord. The forest breeze turns into a small creek and the birds sing a last time while a very slight synth adds a bit of texture. The mark tree adds shimmer like the falling sparkles of the celeste in the last 8 bars. Cymbal swells in different pitches accompany especially in the second part. A gong, timpani and bass drum rolls close the climax of part A. That's all for now. The next part in the series will cover the chase, introducing a complete new vibe. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment and consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.